Welcome back to the garage, guys. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder. I told you on the last video I wanted to get these Valor tires mounted on the Beadlocks, so let's jump right in and get this handled. And that means I need to rescue the rims from the trailer tires that I had on it. So first things first, let's get these wheels removed so we get the tires unmounted. While I love the big box tire stores, you really can't beat the service and price of a decent used tire shop. Plus, this tire shop was super careful with my rims and only charged me about $35 to dismount and dispose of the old tires. I checked with the big box stores and they wanted over $100. Once I got back home with my rims, I got straight to work mounting the first tire. So then, what you do, you can see the little part right here and how that the bead itself fits right alongside that, and you can also see where it's not fitting in there, right? So I'm just going to spend some time, I'm going to work it in, then I'm going to set the ring on the bead lock, and that will basically just clamp the bead to itself. And then slowly but surely all the way around, I'm going to tighten up all the bolts. You want to go back and forth just like you would if you were tightening lug nuts, but this time we're just going back and forth just to get a nice even clamping pressure. And then what you'll see is me throwing down the bolts, working around it, round and around, slowly. That's one of the great blessings of having like a clutch on your impact. You could actually set the clutch so light that it only brings it down just a little teeny bit. It takes a lot longer, but you get a much more even clamping. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start seating the rest of this bead around. Obviously I could do it about 2/3 of the way, or yeah, about 2/3 of the way around. Just gonna get this last little bit in, and then I'm gonna grab the ring and start installing that. All right, a couple little taps, and look at that, nice and centered. Gotta love it. Time to go get those beadlock rings. All right, check this out. So that's just set in there. Let me pull that out real fast. So there is a lip that protects the rim, the lip of the rim, if I was to mount these normal. And I will say that, now that's stuck in there. Anyway, the bead wanted to sit on top here. I just took the little mallet and just kind of tapped it in. It didn't take much at all, hardly at all. And it just kind of sat right in that bead. The only problem is it is not lined up. So I've got to pull it out, move it, and try again. Because the last thing you want to do is actually cross thread these. No bueno. Definitely be careful if you're tapping rims into the lips of the tires, because you can cause some damage to the ring. Now if you're asking why then I need to do all this, you need to first get a couple bolts started, and most of the time they're barely long enough since the tire beads are so thick. So getting the initial bolts started can be a challenge, but I was able to make these bolts work by not putting in the flat washers. Now that the ring is started, I was able to put the flat washers in the rest of the holes. And then I applied some anti-seize lubricant on the remaining bolts and started them each by hand. One of the things I love about these Valor tires is you don't see this very much, especially on tires, so I did want to show you this. Yes, sir. These are made in the USA. Yeah, baby. These are actually formed here in the United States. Love that. I can't tell you how much I like that, actually. That's good stuff. Support the people, the supporting our guys, the American industry, small business, things of that nature. And Valor Offroad is one of those companies that are going out of their way, making things here for us, by us. I love it. Oh, and another thing I wanted to show you guys real quick. As you can see here, you see that lip goes all the way in, pushes up, and kind of folds down now. Now that kind of, I don't know if I can get a good picture of that, but if you look, it has a nice little lip right there. So any rocks and so forth, it's just going to roll right off that. So no problem there. I kind of like that. I think that's why that chamfer is there, so it doesn't get hung up on rocks and starts ripping out when you hit something hard. But yeah, these are some good stuff. All right, down to the nitty gritty. Let's tighten this ring down. Once I've been around a couple times, I remove the initial bolts I used and install flat washers and put anti-seize on the threads. Then I tighten them back down and continue making my rounds around the ring. I'm tightening every third bolt to give a nice even clamping pressure. Then after the first complete circle, I move forward one bolt and then tighten again every third bolt. This means I make 3 complete full go-arounds before I hit every bolt. But it's the way I like to make sure I have a nice even clamp on the bead. Now you may choose to do it differently and definitely consult your rim manufacturer's recommendations, but this is how I do mine. If you're wondering, I'm doing about a half turn each time around. It's just snugging it down little by little. And with the ring bottomed out completely, I do a quick snug on all the bolts and call it done. All right, got it all tightened down. You probably noticed that I didn't do anything other than use hand pressure. I mean, how much pressure can you put on with one of these little speed wrenchy thingies? You can't. It basically just sucks it down real nice and tight. And I'm gonna get in there, say what you say. Everything is good. The heads are sub flush, so I don't have to worry about, like, you know, rocks coming and chipping them up or whatever. Some people actually take these out and use Allen keys, which is, I think, kind of cool. But yeah, I just went ahead and used the bolts. You notice I marked some of them. Those were my initial bolts to seat the actual ring itself, and then I just put in all the little ones. Obviously, I had to go to the store and get some of this anti-seize lubricant. That just keeps it so that I can remove the bolts later. Sometimes the water gets in there. There's could be lots of things that could cause it to seize up in there, and I just don't want to have to worry about that. It also allows it more easily be bolted down and tightened up because you're basically lubricating the joints. So a lot of that friction from it tightening up is mitigated by the lubrication of the anti-seize. Obviously, threw on some electrical tape just to make sure that I didn't ding up the ring itself. And sure enough, I didn't. I did drag it across one on accident, and I don't even see it. That's good. I do appreciate that quite a bit. I don't want it to be all messed up. I had a thought to paint these the color of the bug, but that would just take more time, and I was really interested in putting these things on. There again, love these Valor tires. They made in the USA. Love that to death. These are, again, the Alpha, and they kind of remind me of the BFG tread, if you know what I mean. So I do like the BFG tread. My rendering actually has BFGs on it, and these were just a teeny bit more aggressive. Maybe it's the four-wheeler in me, but let's keep going. I just put the new valve cores in, so let's go ahead and fill it with some air and see if I can pop this bead. I got this air compressor. It's basically one I keep in my car just in case. But what I like about this is you can set the target pressure, click it down, hit the button, and it just starts going. All right, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to let that continue to go. When it gets to 10, it's currently at 5. I'm going to flip it up so we can see the rest of that, and hopefully we'll see the bead pop and at what pressure the bead pops at. So here we go. Well, that's what I get for filming without charging my GoPro. It died. So sitting nice at 15. The back popped itself on really nicely, and I'll be honest with you, that barely sticks out from the rim at all. I mean, that's not bad at all. There's some bulge, but to be honest, I kind of expected more. Not as wide as I thought it would be. That's not a bad thing. I think that'll probably put me around 80, but let's find out. Sorry guys, I thought I'd captured the mounting of the wheel and tire on the bug with the GoPro, but apparently I either didn't do it or totally misplaced the footage. And while there's a part of me who wants to break this video into 2 parts, I'm gonna go ahead and soldier on and just finish up this video with a couple of tips for those of you who are looking at mounting beadlocks in the future. I hope these tips will help, because honestly, mounting beadlocks isn't that hard. I know it can be scary because you're dealing with tires and stuff, and that's typically something we hand off to a professional. But in reality, if you do these things, it's actually pretty quick and you'll save yourself a lot of money. Tip 1 is lube the tire properly. Here I am being lazy and trying to use a bottle of slippery spray-on wax to facilitate slipping the tire over the bead. And as you can see, it's giving me some serious trouble. Don't do that. Spray wax, it is slippery, but it doesn't work for this. Go ahead and get some tire lube like they have at professional shops, or you could use soapy water to facilitate slipping the first bead over the tire before you actually bolt on the beadlock. Check out this second take doing it with the proper stuff. After putting the rim on the bucket, I forced myself to walk all the way into the house and get a bottle of simple green. And after dousing the bead with the cleaner, look how easy it went on. And did I have to use some force to get it on? Of course, but the proper lubricant will definitely help. And I hear using actual soapy water, or preferably the stuff they use at the tire shops, makes it even easier. Tip number 2 is put the clean bead on the outside. Here I am fighting with one of the tires, trying to get the bead to slip onto the beadlock's lip. This step is actually quite important. This centers the rim on the tire, so it actually acts like a round tire instead of an ellipse while you're driving. It'll certainly create drivability issues, premature wear to the tire as well as the suspension components, and probably make it feel like you're shaking down the road instead of driving down it. I'm saying all this to buy time because even with this as a time lapse, I'm still fighting trying to get the tire over the lip. I mean, even my wife came out to help. This was miserable, but I realized my mistake. Check this out. You can pretty much feel the lip, or basically the cutoff where the mold was. If there's a lot of leftover or just like a little bit of leftover, what that does is it makes it hard to get over this lip right here. If there's a lot of stuff left over, I make sure that's on the bottom bead because it doesn't matter. And then a nice clean lip is the one that easily fits right in there. So just one of the things I found as I was doing these, so maybe that'll help you guys if you guys are mounting beadlocks as well. If it doesn't go on really easy, chances are that might be the problem. So yeah, take a look at that. So yeah, the cleaner bead should go on the outside or the beadlock side of the rim. It fits in there so much easier and makes the whole job much faster and a whole lot less frustrating. I had 4 tires to mount, and this is the only one I wasn't paying attention enough, and I just put it on backwards. I did eventually get it on. I just had to use a couple of screwdrivers and just kind of work my way around the lip. But man, as you saw, it fought me quite a bit. So save yourself some time and definitely a lot of aggravation. Make sure you use the cleaner bead on the outside where it's going to have to fit over that lip. My third and last tip is to inflate the tires while they're still sitting on the bucket. One bonehead move I did was pull the tire off the bucket to inflate it so I could use the bucket to mount another tire. I wanted to save time, but in reality, because my rims are somewhat wide and the beads, when they're not inflated, are very close together, I needed that extra help from gravity to make the inner beads seal. Now I realize this is probably a no-brainer for most of us, but for me, brain fart, whatever you want to call it, for my tires, all I needed is 1 or 2 PSI before it would hold itself on, and I could, again, roll it off to the side and start the next tire. Well, I think that's about all the tips that I can think of at the moment. So with that, if you made it this far in the video, please leave a like and comment. And if you do like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. But that's all I have for this video. Remember, be good, do good. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder.